leaders, the madness of many.
Yep.
I'll say this album's madness. All right, I can't even
madness.
tell you how much is going on this one.
Absolute
Jeez.
madness. Now,
This is a progressive
as
mess.
hell, it's just wild, wilding out. Okay, so what do we have here that really, is causing this insane,
I believe this is album number 4.
something like that?
Right, I think this is number 4. They have a few albums here, and I believe this is 4.
Now you got Tosin at the helm here. Okay, Tosin's a legend in Djent genre. But to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't even categorize this record as Djent anymore. I think they've completely
This
left.
is not Djent.
They've left it completely, and have delved into jazz.
There's some aspects in there, but this is a very strange album.
It's just jazz basically, but it's like that strange a lot of that thumping technique he does, where it's like what was that one track with the crazy typing?
Backpiffingeist or whatever.
I think somebody passed out.
It looked like somebody wrote just English and then just passed
Yeah,
out
exactly.
on the
I
keyboard
think
and then just finished it off in
the
German.
guy who edited this he fucking heard it for 20 seconds and lost consciousness, and then his head hit the keyboard, and it stayed on the record. Right? So there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Okay? The first track I heard off this was the Brain Dance, and when I heard that, I said, oh,
That one I like a lot. I like the
like
acoustic part that they throw in there.
right, I like
cool.
it, and there's just a lot going on. It's a lot to sift through. I'm used to listening to them at this point, so I think for me it's maybe a little bit easier, but if for someone who just had never listened to them before at all, this would just be very overwhelming, I think, on multiple platforms.
That it was. No.
I get it, dude. I totally get it. So, I mean, I was listening since, if you're comparing it to past records, they've kind of just gradually worked their way up to this kind of sound. If you look at, their first record, you had songs like CAFO, which was just, shreddy, crazy fast, and then, they have songs like Physical Education off the record after that. Which is delving a little bit more into the thumping, where he really started to kind of do that a little bit more frequently, right? And now we get here, and the thumping technique is just a staple of their sound at this point. A lot of these parts, I can hear it, he's doing that. So, what were your impressions on this? Besides chaotic?
Yeah, like I said, this is overwhelming.
Very overwhelming.
Extremely progressive.
Yeah. There's a lot of strange things going on. They do a lot of ambience.
Yeah, they throw a little bit of ambience, I think, in
most of the tracks.
Songs.
Yeah. Which I like. I like that. They've kind of kept that kind of element about themselves. But I actually like a lot of the compositions on this. It's one of those, I think it's one of those things where you just have to probably listen to it a few times to really get what's going on. It's not, if you were trying to get into this band, this is not the first record you want to listen to at all.
No, it isn't. No.
Start with the first one. Definitely start with the first one. Because if you're listening to this record, you're probably either already a fan, or you're probably somewhat already involved in bands that are affiliated with them. Maybe like not Veil of Maya, but bands that are in that kind of area of metal.
No, this is a very intermediate album to start with.
Yeah.
And this is not the right one. You see the 10 songs on the track list here, with all these crazy names and everything like that, and you see 10 songs, so you think maybe it's not too long.
Yeah.
But it's surprisingly almost an hour.
Yeah.
Not quite, but maybe
there's no short songs.
Short, but yeah, almost an hour.
Yeah, it's a lot of material for them. It's a lot to sift through. Even as a fan, it's a lot of material. So But it's very good. I like a lot of it. I'm gonna have to keep listening to it a few more times, because it's just kind of like how I like to listen to music. Is I like to try to just break it down. So if you're like that, this is probably gonna be pretty difficult for you.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of composition, though, it probably moves like a normal Animals record. There's not really too much different there in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
A lot less heavy, a lot more thump.
Yeah, going into this album, I expected a pretty heavy album. I mean, there's some aspects in there. There's some parts in these songs that showcase that, you know, what I thought that they were. But you know, it's almost like they've gone a little bit. They've done something a lot different here.
Yeah, they're not in this. They can't be classified as that anymore with this release. No. I think this solidified them as being out of that. Still, like, you know, I think almost by doing that though, it adds dynamic to when they do that. When they do make it heavy, it has more weight because they don't do it as much. If that makes any sense. It's like you're keeping the bar up. It's like your maximum level of heavy is like here. If you raise the bar all the way to the top every track, it's almost like, I don't know. I mean, maybe not as much weight.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but maybe that's something that they were trying to do. You know, maybe add more. It brings more emphasis to when they throw the gain on, the high gain, and do the, you know, the heavy 8-string stuff. A much just different record from them.
Yeah, definitely not what I expected.
Yeah. If you love jazz, check this shit out because this is ridiculous. Even that song that we can't bring back, that has a thumping part in it, dude. That's just like, it's awesome. It's just so intense. Like they just make like this clicking sound. It's like they use it almost as a percussive instrument, which he's done frequently in the past, but this just solidifies, like he's just like mastered his own style of playing guitar. Like this is crazy what he's doing here.
Yeah.
With no pick. Dude, no pick. No. He doesn't use a pick. He uses his thumb.
Yeah.
His thumb bends on a crazy angle.
When I heard Arithmophobia, the first track on here, you know, and I heard that thumping sound, I said, I haven't heard much of this in what I've heard from them in the past.
Right.
I'm like, there's almost like is that a bass?
Is that
a guitar?
Like I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, bass. I'm like, that's almost like Les Claypool, like kind of thing, like Primus does. But I'm like, that's not a bass.
Right. No.
I'm like, that's his guitar.
Yeah, exactly. But he can do like really cool shit with it, and it's like, I've never heard a band do that. That's like a very defining talent for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I've never heard another band that sounded like this. You know, this solid. That's just so intense. I've watched them do it too, and it's just mind-altering. Like, to watch them, it's just mesmerizing. You know? So, I mean, great record, but just, like, very overwhelming if you're not used to listening to it. You know, even as I consider myself a pretty big fan of these guys, and well, not a pretty big fan, but like a moderate fan. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of their stuff that I've listened to. I can't really think of any tracks from them I've listened to that I didn't like.
Yeah, this is the one that's, I see a lot of fans love this. Yeah. I don't see many negative comments about this.
Yeah.
You know, but this is definitely one that's, you know, takes some time to digest.
Yes.
I'd say if you're not familiar with this kind of thing.
This is a slow cooker for sure. Absolutely. If you are into this kind of music, and you know any other bands that utilize this thumping technique like that, please post it in the comment section below, because I'd be very interested to listen to it, because I can't think of anyone else that does this. I really can't.
No, Animals as Leaders has done something, you know, very interesting.
Very interesting and defining here. What it is exactly, maybe we're not 100% sure yet, but a couple more listens, I think I'll have a better grasp on it.
Yeah. Give the madness of many as much listens as you need.
Yeah, exactly.